It is Ruth, I from my yoga club, and hopefully you are all sitting comfortably with your legs crossed in front of you. So take the fleshy part of your butt, so it's behind you. That means you're sitting quite solid on your sitting bones. And you're sitting up nice and tall. Your rib cage is in line, and I say in line, I mean that the base of your rib cage is flat. And your pelvis is underneath it. And that should help you sit up nice and tall. Not overly tucking your chin. I was reading about that today, or yesterday I should say. So just having your head in its natural position, whatever that might be. So not trying to force it like this. Your shoulders should feel relaxed. You can close your eyes if you wish. I'm going to take a few really deep breaths. You want to feel your rib cage flare at the bottom and exhale slowly. I'm going to keep breathing in. So our rib cage flares and exhale slowly. Take a few really deep breaths again and exhale slowly, and then we'll take our head down to one side, just a gentle movement. We're not trying to pull on our neck. And then we'll turn to look at the floor. Keep breathing deeply. And then come up to center, take your head down to the other side. And then look to the mat. Coming back to center. Let's take the arm up and over. And again, breathe deeply. You want to feel these rib cages move so you can feel space here. Again, I was watching a doctor and a respiratory nurse saying how to clear out infection and what you need to do. Basically, breathe deep and then do some massive cough at the end. So you shift and rattle the depths of your lungs, basically. So it's really important. You want to shift all of that phlegm and yuckness. If you can hear me, I've had a body brush this morning, so I sound a bit, but that's good. It means it's coming up. Let's come to the other side. Again, breathe deeply, really get those rib cages moving. Coming back to center, let's cross the legs the other way around. Taking the fingertips out in front and then rounding the shoulders, tucking the chin. And breathe as if you're trying to take the breath to the back of your spine. So that's what you're focusing on, that breath on the back. It helps to visualize where you're taking the breath to. So you can think about expanding on the back and getting the back of your lungs moving. Let's come back to center. Gentle twist to one side. We're coming to all of the parameters, all of the planes of our body. And if we do gently first, it doesn't feel like quite a shock to the system. And then we'll gently come to the other side. back to center. Rotate the palms, interlace the fingers, push the palms away. Again, that really big deep breath so you can feel your rib cage flare, and then exhale slowly. Taking the fingertips beside you and then roll the shoulders, really rolling, alternating, getting those shoulder blades to start to move. This doctor was talking about important to breathe, especially if you're ill, away from being in bed lying down, because obviously 50% of the surface, or a large percentage I'd say, of the surface of the lungs is on the back, on the rib cage, and then lying in bed all the time, you're compressing and flattening that area, so then it sticks. And I've talked about that fascia movement before in class, and that's what you're trying to get, that freedom of movement between fascias. So anything that you can move, get your whole shoulder blades wriggling around, and then go the other way. And I've had this tickly cough now for like a month, and I know it's the change of the weather and the pollen and all of that, and my body goes, no, that's foreign agent, so it brings up all this phlegm to remove it, and then I end up getting a cough. Which means if I don't move it and it stays stagnant, that's when infection sets in. So it's best to keep moving even if you don't feel particularly well. Let's come back again into that side stretch. And maybe you can go a bit deeper this time. And then come to the other side. So just gentle movement. So let's come back to center, and again, take your fingertips out in front. This time move a little bit further if you can. Don't worry about how far that might look for you. Just feel until it's comfortable, and then take your elbows down towards the floor and rounding, really rounding the back now. And a big deep breath in. And exhale slowly, coming up to seated. So if you need to cough now, do that. I can't hear you, so that's okay. Coming onto hands and knees. And let's gently rock backwards and forwards. The one thing I love the most about yoga in the morning is it really makes you appreciate how stiff your body is in the morning compared to the evening, and why moving is important. And the other thing I love about yoga in the morning is it sets you up for the day, and I actually do really feel better for doing it. And I should do it more often, but you know. You're going to move backwards and forwards, just on your hands and knees, getting those knees to move, the hips to move. And then we'll take the knees wide, so as wide as the mat, the toes together, and you're moving backwards and forwards. It's just a different angle for the hips, a different angle for the knees. So just notice now if that feels uncomfortable or it feels different. Have your gaze to the mat. Might even want to close your eyes while you move like this. And then you're taking your knees together and your ankles wide. Now I have some knee injury, so if you find this very painful, don't go all the way back. Just a little movement until it feels comfortable. But this one's quite a strong one on the knees. And some of you might not feel anything at all. Lucky you. Lucky you. And then we'll take ourselves into extended child pose, hips towards heels. Walk those fingertips out in front and then take the forehead to the mat. If that's too much, again, you can place a little pillows with your hands, little fist to rest your head on. If that's more comfortable, do it like that. Otherwise, join me, hands out. Big deep breath. Come up onto hands and knees. And let's do a barrel roll. So we're rounding the back and arching over the top, and then the belly comes down. Again, working through those shoulders, and then your back the other way, rounding the back, dipping the belly, just arching around in a circle. And into a traditional cat-cow, arching the back in your cat pose, and then dipping the belly and extending. And your eyes are looking to the top corners of the room. And then exhale, arch. Inhale as you extend. Exhale, arch. See if you can slow down that movement so you can feel every part of your back moving. And this time into a puppy pose. So the hips are high, but the hands are coming to the top of the mat and you're bringing your body down towards the mat. Puppy pose. This time I like to think about breathing towards my armpits. And then back up onto hands and knees. Let's take our left leg up and we're going to make a figure of 8. Again, working those hips. And then you'll draw the 8 back front, which always is tricky. And we'll take that foot wide of our wrist. Now, if your foot gets stuck back here, grab hold of it and move it forward. We'll stay here. Try to push up from the floor, extend through the crown of the head. Make each pose really strong. Push through that foot, the sole of the foot. And don't forget to breathe. Come back again onto hands and knees, lifting up the other leg. You're going to make a figure of 8 with the knee. And back the other way. And then take that foot wide of your wrist. We'll stay here. Remember to push up from the floor. Make your pose strong. And then we'll come back up onto hands and knees. We're going to tuck the toes now and lift into down face dog, walking through the heels. Remember, it's early in the morning, so you may have tightness around the back of the ankles or the hamstrings. Keep going through the heels, come back onto hands and knees, and then back again into extended child pose. Really walk those fingertips away from you, have your forehead to the mat. Take a deep breath. So you should have a hand on each side of your mat. And you're going to leave your left hand on the mat and take your right hand and put it on top of your left hand. So you're in a little diagonal, sort of curved child pose. And again, breathe deeply here. Take your hand to the other side of the mat, so the right hand is planted and you have your left hand on top of it. And again, breathe deeply. And come up onto hands and knees now and into that cat-cow again. And then bring a foot between the hands this time. And again, if it gets stuck, you just shuffle it forward. You're looking for your ankle to be in line with your knee. And we'll take ourselves onto that knee and then lift the arms up into crescent moon. If it's too much to put both arms above your head, just rest a hand to your knee. Feels good. Take the hands down to the mat and let's move that foot backwards and forwards. So moving the leg backwards and forwards, sorry, not the foot. We'll do that in a minute. Extend that front leg and then lift up the foot or the toes from the mat, and then you're going to point your toes and flex your foot. Point and flex and point and flex. You're rounding your back and you're taking your nose towards your knee as you do this movement. Now, if you've had a headache over the last few days, it might be wise just to gentle this movement. Take that foot back to the mat, stack the knee over the ankle again and lift up into your crescent moon. Breathe. Take the hands to the mat, we'll tuck the toes. I'm going to step in and to the other side. So place the back knee to the mat. Let's lift into crescent moon. You might want to rest a hand to your knee if that's too much. Breathe. Take those fingertips to the mat and we're extending the front leg and bending the knee again. And you might notice one side's easier than the other. That's okay. We're going to extend that leg, leave it extended and take the toes off the mat and then point your foot and flex. You're pointing and flex. And we're rounding our back as we do this and taking our nose towards the knee. Let's bend the knee again, so you're stacking the knee over the hip and take the hands up into crescent moon. Big deep breath here. Exhale, take the fingertips to the mat. Let's tuck the back toe now, so we're in a lunge. And stay here in our lunge. If it's too much, remember you can always take your knee down. And we're going to do this as fast or as slow as you want. So taking that back foot in, you step the other foot out into a lunge. And we're going to keep alternating. So you're taking your foot in and stepping back on the other foot. And you're doing that as far to the mat and to the end of the mat as you can. So try to step really as far away from you as you can. You are going as fast as you want, alternating. So I'm going quite quickly here. But you can really slow it down and just do a little step in, get yourself to your lunge, step in, get to the other. Let's warming up those hips really nicely now. Keep going. Do a few more. And then we'll step into our forward fold. We'll take hands to shins into flat back extension, crown of the head's coming away. Come down into a fold. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Let's come down into our chair pose. You can have your feet together if you wish, or hip width apart, whichever you find. You're sitting back. It's as if someone's going to take a chair from behind you, and your chest needs to be quite front facing. Take the arms to shoulder height. Try and pull in through the belly. We're bringing the rib cage again in line with that pelvis. Breathe. Keep breathing. Take your hand across and rotate into rotated chair. Keep breathing. Coming back to center. It's starting to get a little bit tricky now. Take that opposite arm and rotate. We'll come back into center and then come down to forward fold. Let your head hang and just rest in a fold for a moment. If you need to have your knees bend, that's okay. And then let's roll just gently all the way up to standing. Okay, let's come to mountain pose now. Feet hip width apart, taking your pelvis, so you're taking it back over your heels, and in turn stacking the rib cage, and then the crown of the head is just sitting on top. Relax the palms beside you, they're facing out, and we'll close the eyes. And we're just going to rock gently back on our feet so you can feel the whole of the sole of the feet. Rotate the palms, interlace the fingers, push the palms away. And then come down to one side. And to the other. Let's come back to center and sit back again in our chair pose. I can test myself. I've got as low as the sofa there behind me. Oh, that's a tricky one. Let's take that hand across and rotate. Don't forget to keep breathing. Take it back to center. This will really get you start to warm. Those thighs need a lot of blood, so you're starting to feel hot now. Take the opposite arm. Breathe. Coming back to center. Really pull the belly in. Try to stay in your pose a little bit longer. Oh. And then we'll come all the way up to standing. Let's take the legs out wide. Toes are coming in, heels are coming out, hinging from the hips, come forward into a fold. I'm going to take the hands to the center in palms together in prayer position. Try to extend again, hinging from the hips. We'll take the arms out wide. Pull up through the belly to do this. Take the hands behind you. You're going to hold on to your elbows. If you can do reverse prayer, do it. But if not, don't worry. Just hold on to the elbows. Take the arms out wide. Let's breathe. Hands back to the center with palms together in prayer. And then push through the heels so you're coming up with a flat back. Slowly coming all the way up. Let's roll the shoulders. And turn a foot out to the side into your warrior two. Come into side angle. And then back into warrior two. Come back into side angle. And back into warrior two. Into side angle. This time take the hand up into 12 o'clock. Bring it behind you, holding onto the thigh. Or you're just resting your hand on your hip or in the small of the back, wherever it comes to. If you want to be fancy, you can wrap. If you feel that you can do that, do that. Otherwise, just rest. Keep breathing. Take yourself back into warrior two. We'll straighten that front leg and we're going to reach as far as we can. Taking the arm down in front of the thigh. Try not to overextend this front knee, so a little tiny bend. And then take the top arm up into triangle pose. You can look to the ceiling if that's comfortable, or look to the floor if that feels more comfortable for you. Really find space in that pose, and we'll lift all the way up. Take your arm over the top into sun warrior. Breathe. And we'll come to the other side. Into warrior two. Come down onto that elbow to the thigh into side angle. Back into warrior two. Side angle. Keep breathing, coming back to warrior two. Try to relax those shoulders. Coming down to side angle, this time taking the arm up to 12 o'clock. You can wrap it, if you can find your thigh, fabulous. If not, just have your hand small to your back or your hand to your hip. And if you want to be mega fancy, you can wrap round and hold on. Breathe. We'll lift back into warrior two. Straighten that front leg and reach as far as you can. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. And then take the arm in front. And the top arm floats up into triangle pose. Keep this neck up. Make sure your head isn't flopping down like so. Really have control over the neck. Breathe. And we're going to lift all the way up. And take that arm up and over into sun warrior. Ooh. And then bring that down, come to the top of your mat. Let yourself come into forward fold now. chest to thighs, head is going to hang. You're stepping back as far as you can into a lunge, back into a plank. Kneeling plank is your option. We'll stay here in kneeling plank or full plank, whichever you want to do. Breathe. If you're in full plank, come to your knees now. Come back into extended child pose. And then take your wrists by your ankles and relax your shoulders. Just breathe for a moment, close your eyes, let your body adjust. Taking the hands back out in front, really reach them out in front to extended child pose. And then you're moving and hovering your shoulders over your wrists. If you want to come to full plank again, just tuck the toes and lift up. Staying in full plank. You're going to breathe. And then this time we're going to lift all the way up into down face dog. And we'll stay here in down face dog. Taking a leg up behind you into raised leg down face dog. You're keeping your hips even. And then you're going to rotate, so you're looking under your armpit and your heel is coming to your hip. So your knees coming up towards the ceiling in three-legged dog. And this is slightly revolved so you can see under your armpit. Big stretch across the hips. You're going to come back into raised leg down face dog. That's twisting through the hips. And then we'll come on to kneeling plank or full plank. You're going to take that knee across the body into a revolve. So you can have your knee to the mat if you want. You're going to push back up into raised leg down face dog. You're going to revolve underneath, so you're looking under your armpit. Turning back round, and we'll come through and let that knee come towards the elbow, and then bring the knees to the mat. Come into cat-cow now. And you're coming to the other side. Now, may I hasten to add that you can do all of this on your hands and knees. So if you found that one really tricky and as your wrists are playing up, just give your hands a little bit of a rotation like that. Clasp and unclasp. And remember that you can do this on the hands and knees. So it's just the case of doing it in a little bit of a less rotation. So you're like this rather than on from down face dog. Otherwise, join me in down face dog, tucking the toes, down face dog. I'm going to raise the other leg now into raised leg down face dog. Really even up those hips. You're rotating to look under the armpit. Your hip and heel are coming together into three-legged dog. Don't forget to breathe. Take that leg back and then bring that knee through and connect it with the opposite elbow. Breathe. And then take yourself back into raised leg down face dog. Your hip is coming to your heel, you're rotating, looking under the armpit. Coming back to raised leg down face dog. And then bringing that knee across. Remember, you can always put that back knee down like so if you need to. Listen to what your body wants you to do for the adjustments. And then we'll take ourselves back up. both feet to the mat in down face dog. Come back onto your hands and knees. Take yourself forward so you come into a plank, a kneeling plank position. I'll stay here for a moment. Breathe, and then we're lowering the body, chest, chin, belly, all the way to the mat. Stacking your hands, turning your toes out, and just turn to one side. And we'll do some rounds of that deep breathing here. So just letting that breath flow evenly, breathing as deeply as you can. Lift your head, turn to face the other way, and continue with your deep breathing. Let's bring the forehead to the mat. Take the hands to the top corners of your mat and then bring your feet so that ankles, knees, hips are in line. Continue to deep breathe. And then we'll take the hands out in front of us, we're in a straight line, and lift up into locust pose, taking the thighs off the mat, chest off the mat, and breathe. Taking the hands behind you, and we'll lift a little bit higher. Keep breathing. Coming back to the center. And come down and rest. Let's do that again. So take that hand out in front of you, forehead to the mat. Going to lift the thighs and the chest up into locust pose. Taking the hands behind you, lifting a little bit higher. Breathe. And then rest down. Take the arms beside you this time and just rest down, turning your head to one side. Let's do it again. So taking the hands out in front, lifting into your locust. This time you're taking the hands and the legs out wide, so you're in a star. Then you're going to bend your elbows to lift yourself up a little bit higher. You're breathing. Taking your hands out in front of you, and then rest down, turn your head to one side. Last one, taking the hands out in front of you, lifting up to locust pose. This time taking the arms and legs out wide so you're in a star type position. You're bending the elbows, this will help you lift a little bit higher, you're breathing. Breathe. Take yourself down to your mat and rest. And then we'll lift up, taking the elbows beneath the shoulders, palms to the mat, into Sphinx pose. Your gaze is to the top of your mat. And you're breathing. Just let the breath start to settle. Come down again to the mat. Take your hands by your rib cage and push yourself up onto hands and knees and back into extended child pose and rest again. Keep breathing and bring yourself up to a seated position. So I'm going to sit to the side so you can see me. Extending both legs, take the fleshy part. You're going to bring the knee in. Really plant the foot to the mat. Hold onto the knee. This is going to help you sit up nice and tall. You're going to take the foot over the extended leg. Now, normally we do this with a closed twist, so we're rotating towards the thigh, but today we're opening the twist. So we're coming away from the thigh. You're going to take the arm in front of your knee and you're opening up the twist. Use your back hand to support you. Have this foot in front and breathe. Try to get this foot to press into the ground so that you can feel the sole of the foot on the ground, the ball of the foot on the ground. Sit up nice and tall. You're going to turn to face the back. Breathe. And then we'll turn to face the front. And then we'll unwrap ourselves and come to the other side. So I'm going to swivel so you can see what I'm doing again. Extending the leg, bringing the other leg in and sitting up tall. And take that foot across the extended leg. Make sure you're flexing that foot so you've got a strong standing leg. We're opening the twist, so we're coming away from the thigh. And you're bringing the arm in front. Let's sit up nice and tall. Breathe. Let's turn to face the back. And then turn to face the front. Keep breathing. And then we'll come all the way to the front, taking the soles of the feet together, holding just above the ankles, elbows towards the knees into bound cobbler, and then rounding that back, tucking the chin. Keep breathing, let the breath start to settle and slow down. And then we're sitting up tall, holding on to those ankles, or just above the ankles, I should say. Let's sit up tall, bend the elbows slightly. Think about really a strong position in this bound cobbler. And then we'll take the knees together, hug the knees, let the chest and chin come together. Sit up and take yourself onto your back. So we're going to stay down here and do our relaxation. So while you get some blankets or something warm to put on, I'm just going to lower this down so that I'm not in the sky. Okay. So I'm going to sit here while I give you your relaxation and your meditation, but you can sit up if you choose, or you can lie down on your mat, whichever's more comfortable for you. Try to keep warm, so maybe put something over your feet, put a jumper on, something like that. And then we're going to relax down onto the mat. Let me move my lovely dead rat over there. So, okay. So the first time you lie down, it might feel like a huge relief. You might think or feel, and I want you to do that. So as you lie down, go, Take a deep breath in. Imagine you can breathe down to your toes, and again, sigh that air out. And then return to a natural rhythm of breath. Have your palms beside you. Your palms facing up, arms beside you. And have your eyes gently closed. You might need to bend your knees, and that's okay. If you need to bend your knees because your back may be a little bit sore, that's okay. Whatever feels comfortable for you. So just breathing in and out and finding that gentle breath. That steady breath. And just relaxing down onto the surface that you can feel beneath you. Noticing the floor beneath you, resting your body down. And this week we explored protecting our body, those safe spaces that we provide ourselves so that we can relax deeper. And if you're familiar with doing that, then do that now. Think about how you can make yourself feel safe and secure. Maybe thinking about the fact that you're in your own house, the door is shut and locked, and you feel safe and secure. And you're going to think about it, and each time you think how safe you feel, you're able to relax that body a little bit more. And you start to notice the sounds perhaps that are around you. Perhaps you can hear the birds outside. Listening to my voice, noticing sounds around the house. Just allowing your body to settle and that breath to be even while you listen to all of those sounds around you. We're now noticing the whole of our body, all of the peripheral edges, all the skin around our body. Perhaps you can feel humming, tingling sensation. Doesn't matter what you can feel. Just noticing all the edges of your body. And we're thinking about stepping towards our body. Imagine each step brings you closer and closer within yourself. So you're trying to become more inwards with your feelings, with your sensations. And we're coming so far into our body that we're feeling that breath. Perhaps the rise and fall of your body, the rise and fall of your belly. As that breath comes in and out. And your breath is slow and even. And your body is breathing for you. Really tuning into that sensation. So you're really within yourself, feeling inside your body. And the slower the breath becomes and the more even you can feel it, the more relaxed you become. Just breathing, relaxing, letting the shoulders release, lower back of your head. Any thoughts are just passing by, they're not important for now. Each time you're coming inwards to that breath. You may become distracted, and that's okay. You just bring yourself slowly back inwards to the breath. Noticing now how the body is starting to relax a little bit more. How you feel a little bit more rested, not so tense. And that breath is becoming more even. Breath is slowing down. And the outside noises around you just flowing over your body. In these last few moments, just noticing more and more about your body, more about how you feel. And then bring your attention back into the room. Just allow yourself to lie there for a moment, taking in the changing of light as you've opened your eyes, the changing of all the senses around you as your body becomes more accustomed to being into a bigger room. Breathing deeply. And then take yourself slowly up to seated, sitting in your comfortable cross-legged position. Your hands in your lap perhaps with your palms facing up. It's a nice open position. It means that you're fully rested, you're ready to give and receive all of that positive energy. I'm going to take a deep breath down to the base of our spine and exhale to the skull. Inhale down to the base of the spine and exhale to the skull. And then rotate the palms down to heart center, palms together. Thanks for joining me. Namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Go forth for the rest of your day, and I will see you another time. Thank you.